Hello, we're here with Chris Gaither and tasting some incredible wines from France with bubbles in them.
That's right.
One of them is a Méthode Ancestrale cremant from the Loire Valley, and the other is a Champagne, the real deal Champagne. And well, let's get started with the first wine first. This is Chateau Passavant. Many folks out in the East Coast in New York are familiar with this producer. It's a Cremant de Loire, Méthode Ancestrale, 2015 vintage. It is a Brut Nature wine. So when we see Brut Nature on the label, Chris, what does that tell us?
It means there's no dosage whatsoever.
And what is dosage for the folks out there that maybe aren't familiar?
There's no extra residual sugar added to the wine to try to balance out the acidity. The wine is as it finished fermentation.
Mm-hmm. And this is Méthode Ancestrale, which what does that mean?
That means that the still wine is bottled while finishing up its fermentation, and it finishes its fermentation while sealed under cork, and that creates carbon dioxide that's trapped, which creates the bubbles.
And so then there's no added sugar, there's no added yeast.
No added yeast, none of that stuff.
And so then there's no disgorgement either.
No disgorgement until you pop that bottle open, baby.
And what does disgorgement mean also for the people out there that maybe aren't familiar?
All right.
Let's make sure we cover all these points.
Oh my God. Disgorgement is removing the cork and letting out any type of yeast or sediment or lees left over from that fermentation in the bottle, and then replacing it with, let's say, what I just mentioned, like a dosage or some kind of, if you will, mixture of sugar with a little bit of yeast and a little bit of, not yeast, but a little bit of tannin, just to balance out the flavor of the wine after it's disgorged.
That's perfect. Let's go ahead and taste this wine and smell this wine. Cheers, by the way.
Cheers.
It's
good to be here with you.
What do we call on this Friday?
Fresh Friday.
Fresh Friday. Perfect with fresh sparkling wines.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. On our notes here, we have that we're located in the lovely South Anjou in the Haut-Léon area.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly Chenin Blanc, 60%, followed by 20% Chardonnay, and then 20% Cabernet Franc. All organic, and also just got biodynamic certification in 2011, Demeter. And this method, Ancestrale, is the oldest method of sparkling wine known to mankind.
Right.
So what are some of the things that you smell and you pick up on the nose?
This is really beautiful, like just juicy kind of crab apple, yellow apple. There's hints of like blanched almonds, lemon peel. It's really cool. There's a textural component too on the palate, but on the nose, it's got that apple and that citrus.
Do you get a little
touch of nuttiness?
Hint of like orange skin or kumquat on the nose, maybe?
Ooh, kumquat, yeah.
You know, everybody should have a little bit of kumquat in their lives. You get a little kumquat jelly actually with toast. It's actually quite delicious.
You're speaking my language. I'm ready for some breakfast now.
And the alcohol, it's 12.5% alcohol. It's important to note that because this is only one fermentation. Whereas some people that have compared this style to Pet Nat, but it's not really.
A little higher alcohol, finishes its fermentation completely.
Finishes its fermentation completely.
Yeah. It's
not being restricted and made, which is technically not natural. Pet Nat, not. Yeah, it is. I'm not a fan of the style of wines. I find them to be very harsh and acidic and fierce, and anybody that is worth 2 cents would have to agree with that. It's just the way it is.
Be careful calling a wine fierce.
I like
that actually sounds cool.
I like fierce wine. I like fierce wine, but not that it's like you can taste some of those Pet Nat wines that are picked really early, and it's like just like razors in your mouth, and it's just like that's just
sharp.
Not really wine. That's a science project. Anyways, that's how I feel about it.
Very good.
Tasting the champagne now. This is Premier Cru Village in the village of Chamery, which is in the Montagne de Brême, and is on the It's on the northwestern part of Montagne de Brême, in an amphitheater that is south facing. And you see this beautiful little church steeple in Chamery.
Mm-hmm.
This producer, Pascal Lallement, has been making champagne he inherited, but he's a third generation.
Wow.
And yeah, he's also, it's mostly Pinot Noir and Pinot Meunier, about 75%, and then 25% Chardonnay. One of the distinguishing factors for this wine is that it's aged on its lees for 4.5 years.
That's crazy. Who does that?
Who does that? And this is non-vintage.
I love this stuff.
Non-vintage is aged for how long? For the kids at home, 1, 2, 3. You should have answered that by now. How long is non-vintage?
15 months on its lees.
And how long is vintage?
Vintage is, 18 months?
Three
I'm sorry,
years.
3
3
years.
years, 3 years,
36 months on its lees.
Now, but this is non-vintage. Age for 4.5 years. This is crazy.
This is like, who can afford to do this? Why would somebody want to do this? You know what? Because they're in a little village called Chamery, crushing it.
This is super delicious.
Yeah.
You get that nice biscuity, that's creamy like texture on mid palate that comes from the autolysis effect. That you get that texture and that weight. There's producers that have RD bottlings like Bollinger, the Enotech. And granted, those are very amazing champagnes, and in no way, shape, or form am I saying that is that, because those are fantastic,
right.
But they're made in the same vein and idea.
Exactly, but those aforementioned champagnes are extremely hard to find
And expensive.
and cost
beyond
about 20 times.
20 times easily. And trust me, if you gave me one of those bottles, I'd be like, let's do it. But,
Exactly.
But this is a wine that, retails for, $39.99, $40 retail. And you can find BTG in many great restaurants like the Michael Minas, the Gary Dinkos, the French Laundries, the Spagos of the world. And
You can also find it on the menu if you attended my wedding about 2 years ago. I poured this at my wedding. Or actually, you poured this at my wedding. Thank you very much, sir.
Sommelier to you always, sir. Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of this. There's a little red apple skin, kind of a slight, some of those notes that you expect from Pinot Noir / Pinot Meunier based champagnes. Like you mentioned, touch more texture coming from that autolysis, and you start to feel it after the second or third sip. It just kind of coats over the top of your tongue, and there's some really nice minerality. It's a fantastic, very complex champagne, and it is ridiculous that we can get it at that price. It's great.
Oh, thank you so much for tasting with us, and looking forward to seeing you all soon. Cheers.